That should be tier 4 live. Put this in the chat, that way everyone is aware what's going on. Tier 4 blue. There we go. So, how's everything going? Can you guys hear me all right? That's if I see something here saying that the answer's yep, we can hear it. Yep, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we'll give it a few minutes here then before to let people start to join, and then we'll get going. Yeah, beautiful day. Got home early. Not actually started the comms early, however. Took an hour to myself when I got back. Uni was particularly demanding today, unfortunately. But yeah, gives me time to do this, and then I'll be going to do WRC after this, I think. Hello, H-Boss. How's it going? Put up the YouTube on my phone just so I can keep up with the comments as they come in. Afternoon, Angela. Oh, trust me, I'm not placing last in my tier. I've had back-to-back podiums. I've got more points I have more points in sprint races this season, or in the last two sprint races of this season, rather, than I did the entirety of season 19. It's incredible. I mean, incredible, really. Almost part of me wants to see what I would have done in tier 3 had I been placed there. Don't forget that I was put in tier 2 again right at the end after Claus got himself banned. But yeah, I'm doing well. I've been on time with most of this season. But yeah, for future reference, I usually get home somewhere between 2:30 and 3:00. For future reference, I don't want to be pinged at 2:00. Be like, where's the stream starting? It's pretty difficult to start a stream when you're not at your desk, and quite frankly, when I'm not even in my own building. Oh. Let's see if we can get this done before my phone, my remote dies. We're going for about 4 minutes. 8 people in the stream already. Appreciate you guys joining. Who had money on at the beginning of the season that I'd do the comms first 3 weeks straight? Well, post comms first 3 weeks straight. Vex technically did them first. The last 2 weeks he did them live. Can't really compete with that one. We'll get through going through the grid now then. So Bluebeard on pole for the 3rd week straight. Let's see if he can actually convert this one. Gus back in second, Rich in third, looking to recover from what was a down week last week. Danger Mouse in fourth, Obi-Wan in fifth, Major in sixth, Zapper in seventh, Chuck Norris in eighth, Yuri in ninth, Nath in 10th, Robbo in 11th, Turbo Driver in 12th, D-Dubs in 13th, H-Boss in 14th, Sir Tracy in 15th, and Epsilon at the back. This is more of a track where I expect Epsilon to get absolutely destroyed. That Silhouette is not a good car, as much as these eSports guys are going to try and convince you otherwise. Nobody starting on the medium tyres. I know that was a possibility for some in other tiers, so no one actually taking the opportunity to do that, which means people are going to be relatively safe on their tires, I assume. See if there's anything else that I need to pick up on before we get going. It doesn't look like it. No Silhouette bashing. No, we are bashing the Silhouette. We are definitely bashing the Silhouette. It's in a straight line, I think it's good. It can't corner for shit. It's a great looking car. I'll give you that. Not a great car in this game. That's a shame. Alright, let's go then. I will actually run this back 10 seconds. That way I can line this up and be able to roll through the comms as we go with 5 red lights. It lights out. Away we go to start the sprint. And the Merc has got off to a flyer. Gus back has hit the front straight away. Bluebeard got some work to do off of a poor start. And Bluebeard will stay ahead of Danger Mouse with Obi-Wan in fourth. The GTRs just starting to make their way toward the front. They've got themselves a massive gap to Major in fifth. Chuck Norris is sixth. The two Gen Xers in fifth and sixth right now. Then it's Yuri after that. And Rich, who's dropped all the way down to ninth off the start with a horrendous start himself. Down to 10th now, actually, with Zappa right beside him. And so I think Zappa's gone ahead of him. Rich has just had a terrible, terrible start. Looks like everyone has managed to survive the first of the bus stops. Robbo still in, well, Robbo down into 12th, Turbo in 13th, D-Dubs in 14th. Epsilon has a position over Sir Tracy. Now as Sir Tracy leads, wraps up the back of the grid. Gus back still has a advantage at the front with Bluebeard in second, and then he's still followed by both the GTRs who need to work together to get themselves toward the front now. The opening phase of the race just starting to play out on this first lap of 9 in the sprint. And with 23 laps of the feature. We'll see going through, continuing in this one. Oh, Rich accidentally fuel map 4, and that will do it. That will definitely do it. Yeah, that's one way to kill your race before you even start. That's the same. And you've still got Gus back from Bluebeard, then it's Danger Mouse, Obi-Wan still third and fourth in the GTRs. It's still Major and Chuck. They are fifth and sixth in the Gen X's, just trying to get forward now. Yuri in seventh, comfortably ahead of H-Boss in eighth, with Rich in ninth and Zappa in 10th as they start to work their way back toward the front. Zappa's behind his teammate, and then once his teammate has figured out what fuel map 1 looks like. That didn't look good for Turbo Driver. We get an extra look at what just happened there. I think he snapped his car and did on the exit of turn 1. We'll get a second look at this from T-Dub's perspective. Oh, it looked like he was trying to save his car from the actual penalty line rather than anything else, the track limit. And he'll get overtaken by D-Dubs as a result. So Tracy's in 14th. Nathan's at the back now. Not sure what happened to him in the Merc. Oh, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Got caught on the inside there by H-Boss. And got caught by the Aston Martin. Epsilon has done well to keep his car alive there. The Aston Martin has definitely caught the back of the Merc, and the Merc will be running at the back for the rest of this sprint race now. Nothing really changing out front. Chuck Norris actually going for a little bit of a move on his own teammate. I think if you're going to do that, you're going to have to pick your spot a lot earlier than what you tried. Watkins is all about that. It's all about knowing when you're going for that move. Had some instance of that in Tier 2. You've got to know where you want to put your car very, very early on in this track to get some sort of move done. Nothing really happening in the midfield right now. Gus Back and Bluebeard have an advantage at the front. We will go to the front. The Merc just sliding around just a little bit at this point. It looks like Gus Back just sticking with the advantage over Bluebeard, who's gone a little bit wide and have to deal with that advantage opening up now for Gus Back, the Saudi Arabian at the front. Bluebeard in second, then you've got Danger Mountain Obi-Wan in third and fourth. Angel, we've got Major and Chuck Norris in fifth and sixth. I think Major is just starting to close the gap just a little bit now. Yuri in seventh is being chased down by the Aston Martin. Rich in ninth, Sapper in 10th. They go after the Aston Martin as well. Don't really think they're going to get him though. It's going to take something. You're going to have a lot of overtaking speed out of a corner to get a run down to one of the big braking zones. Looks like Chuck Norris is just taking a weird line. He might have a run on his own teammate now. Let's see what he chooses to do here. Is there going to be anything for him? Yuri's got a good hole if he can follow it through. Is there going to be a move happening here? Yuri on the outside. Now has a major hole, but he's going to get boxed in. Yuri is going to have the advantage on Chuck Norris, and Yuri is actually ahead of him quite comfortably. As they head into the bus stop chicane, and Yuri is up in the sixth. H-Boss almost looked for a move there on Chuck Norris in the middle, well, on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Has left himself open now for Rich on the outside. Rich looking for a switchback. Isn't going to get it because H-Boss has gone all the way to the inside there and defended it well. But H-Boss still doing a good job being in 8th right now. There we go. Major ahead of Yuri. Yuri finally picking off Chuck Norris in front. He might be about to look to pick off Major as well. He could have, chose not to. Also, Bluebeard has taken the lead of this race. When did that happen? Long time ago, apparently. Well, we'll go back to the current time then. Bluebeard ahead of Gus Back, the Merc. Very much in control. Well, was in control of this race, but it's very much in second now. Bluebeard should have a massive advantage for the rest of this race, and so if you can get that rhythm going early, you become very hard to beat. That's what Bluebeard has lacked so far this season. That ability to get the rhythm early, start on pole every time. Hasn't really been able to follow it up. Is this the day where he manages to put himself on the top step of the sprint? Here's a very sizable advantage now. Still the GTR's third and fourth, fairly comfortably out in front of 5th place in the Gen X for Major. Epsilon saying he was sector purple in sector 1 most often. He probably was, to be honest with you, in a straight line. Here comes Chuck Norris on the inside of Yuri. Actually, doesn't even go for it. He is still ahead of H-Boss in 8th. Yuri just lapsing a little bit to the outside there. No one trying medium on the sprint at all in this tier. nothing really changing. That didn't sound too great. A little bit further forward, Bluebeard has a very sizable advantage to Gus back now, who is losing ground rather rapidly on the 2 cars behind him. They've got about 4 or 5 different cars going on. They're kicking up some grass here. H-Boss now looking to the inside. Chuck Norris has a penalty. H-Boss to the inside. That might be a bit of a problem there. H-Boss with collision on Chuck Norris. That got ahead of Chuck Norris. So actually decided to stay behind him and show good sportsmanship. But Richard are going to do the same, because Richard's just going to take those 2 positions and run with them. Up in the 7th goes Rich. Chuck Norris now defending from H-Boss again. The Gen just seems to be going backwards. That half-second penalty going to take him outside the top 10 potentially. Here comes H-Boss to the inside now, looking toward turn 1. The Aston Martin with a much better run to the inside, but again, just does not go for the move. The opportunity has been there a few times. There's a golden one now. Neither head. Chuck Norris has just lost out to Sapper as well. And now Robbo is going to try and steal that bottom step of the top 10. He's going to look to the inside now. One of the M6 has been doing spectacularly well. The other one trying to break into the top 10 for the first time and hasn't been able to do it to the bus stop chicane. On lap 5 of 9 here. Oh, but we just got into about halfway of this race. Yuri just dove a little bit there on Major. He's got a half-second penalty, so Richard's going to take that place off of him. Once Richard's figured out what fuel map 1 looks like, he's actually started to make his way back through the field. A glorious opportunity to try and get Major here as well, as Yuri now comes off the line. Oh, Yuri spun it right! How? How have you... We're going to rewatch this. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed this, to be completely honest with you. Yuri sliding in the Alfa Romeo to begin with. Oh, he tried going on the grass. Oh, he tried doing the penalty, the penalty thing, and it backfired. It backfired miserably. Oh, that is rough. Robbo is ahead of Chuck right now, but I don't think that's going to last too much longer. The inside goes Chuck, and he's done a decent job of defending that outside. And it's actually stayed ahead of Robbo. I thought that Chuck Norris was dropping outside the top 10 for certain here, but he's not actually done any of that. He's not lost any positions either. Sapper and H-Boss was already gone. Here comes Rich on the inside of Major. Actually doesn't go for it down into turn 1. Again, another one that looked like he was looking to set up a move. Just doesn't go for it out of turn 1. He's got to run if he wants it down toward turn 4. Into the bus stop chicane. There would be an opportunity for a move if he opted to do so. We'll see if he actually will do so. Nope, Major's going to have him here. Major's going to defend that into the bus stop chicane and has actually got him. Just a little while longer. We're on lap 6. Richard's trying to fight for the top 5. It hasn't looked very likely at the moment. Major doing a very good job of defending against the McLaren. H-Boss is going to come under fire as well here. Rich now looking to the outside to try and get something to stick. He's trying something. He might have got it this time though. That looked brilliant. That looked like, wow, that looked perfect on the exit there. Almost a dummy to the outside. And Richard's going to have that inside line, and look at that. Finally sets up the move and gets up into 5th. That is a brilliant bit of racing just to do something different. There's Major's just scrambling a little bit now. Still the top 4 have not really changed. Danger Mouse and Obi-Wan now fighting it out. Teammates going side by side down towards turn 1. Gus back won't be complaining with this, I don't think. Completely honest with you, he's going to be perfectly fine with these two fighting. The longer that goes, the better it is for him. tyres are just so much worse on the Merc than the other cars around him. He is going to struggle toward the end of this race. Danger Mouse needs to be working with his teammate now. Not currently doing so. Gusbach will be easy picking if they work together. If they work together, it'll be a double podium actually on that one. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of movement for the GTRs. Fair enough, Robbo. We got Rich ahead of Major, and H-Boss still ahead of Sapper as well, fighting for 7th. And another is one word, yeah. That's not a sentence I thought I'd be saying. Also, Robbo overtaken by Turbo now as Turbo sits himself in the bottom of the top 10. I wonder if anything is going to happen at the back of the what will be reverse grid pole for the person who ends 10th. Nathan's actually got himself back in the 13th after earlier, which is fairly impressive. Yuri at the back of the grid after his escapades with the penalty. Major has definitely been scrambling since being overtaken by Rich. I don't really think he's going to be able to hold on to the 6 much longer, to be honest with you. He is scrambling about. We continue out throughout this race onto lap 8. H-Boss has got a chance. He's going for a move now. And he got it without contact as well. That was good from H-Boss to pick his spot. Well, up in the 6th goes H-Boss. Zappa won't be too far behind. Obi-Wan is overtaking Gus back, and I think he's only just done it. As he goes past Gus back down into the bus stop chicane, and the GTRs are about to pick off the Merc for a double podium here, surely. With a lot to go, this should be easy pickings for Danger Mouse to go to the inside, and it is in fact that. Just that, easy pickings on the Merc, and both the GTRs are into the podium spots now. Major, oh, Zappa to the wall! Let's go back to figure out what's happened here then. So Major is still back ahead of H-Boss. H-Boss has got better tyres in every facet than the Jet X in front of him. Not entirely sure what happens to Zappa here. Zappa going to the outside. Zappa going to the outside here. Round the outside, we've got H-Boss as well, trying to hold it, oh, and he couldn't. Hit the grass and Zappa into the wall, and H-Boss is also there. Didn't really, well, lost the same amount of time, and Chuck Norris is right there and thereabouts now. H-Boss pulls out and lets Zappa on through. That is a interesting scenario that just was unfolding here. Also, Robert almost colliding into the side of Turbo, and they both lost out to D-Dub now. It's in 10th. I don't really know if there's going to be anything in this for Robert or Turbo now, because D-Dubs is going to be fairly impenetrable there. His tyre is still up over halfway. Chuck Norris is definitely not going to be able to say the same. We go through. Major is also in a very big problem right now. There's no tyres left on that car. We saw Gus back lose out to the 2 GTRs beforehand. Bluebeard had decided about a sector's advantage now. Rich is also trying to clamber himself all the way through to Gus back as well. Let's see if he can get himself into the top 4. Gus back should be easy pickings with no tyres left on the car at all. I drove this Merc yesterday. I don't understand how Gus back's managed this. Well, for a fact, my tyres are considerably better than that, and I'm on pad. Here we go with Rich looking to the inside now. This should be he should have gone for it there. He should have easily gone for it there. Not entirely sure why he didn't go for that. He's been catching him at the rate of knots. He should know there's something wrong. That should have been an easy move. Major's in trouble. Major is in massive trouble. Here comes Zappa on the outside. Is Major going to have any tyres left? We're going around the final corner. Zappa's just got a little bit wide. Major's going to have a chance. H-Boss is trying to figure his way through as well. We will now head to the front and see it later on as Bluebeard will finally convert a pole into a sprint win. And he wins round 3 sprint at Watkins Glen. Obi-Wan will get past, stay in second, Danger Mouse in third, Rich will get fourth, so we'll go and have a look at how that played out. We saw that Rich had an opportunity earlier on, he didn't go for it then, he's now going to go the more difficult route, round the outside of Gusbach and into the third to last. And Gusbach half slid his car, and that'll do it. As Rich will just drive on by, and up into fourth he goes. A good recovery drive for Rich after finally remembering what fuel map 1 looks like. He gets fourth, Gusbach will get fifth. Somehow Major's hanging on for dear life. We will go back again to see what actually happened here. We know up to this point the Major was still ahead of Sapper. And H-Boss round the outside of Sapper as well was brilliantly done there by the Aston Martin. Chuck Norris is having a bit of a mare in the background of the shot. Major has done fantastically well to defend on this tyre, given the fact that he has nothing left to give. Major looking for a chance to stay 6th. He's going to get dragged to the line. He'll win that because he's in the Gen X. H-Boss will have to settle for 7th. Sapper in 8th. Chuck Norris in 9th. D-Dubs rounds out the top 10. It'll start the reverse grid pole. Turbo in 11th, Robbo in 12th, Nathan 13th, Epsilon in 14th, so Tracy in 15th, and Yuri realistically cost himself a massive points haul in the sprint, trying to cheese out the penalty line. And that will round out the end of the sprint. A lot of action all over the place there, especially toward the end. We'll see how everything is going to play out in this feature race. Where is it? H-Boss. There it is. We'll see how everything goes now then. Let's see how long it shouldn't take too long. I'm not entirely sure how the hell Major held on, to be honest with you. Let's see how everything goes on. I will try and hide that so people don't get a good look who won this sprint feature race. So let's see what everyone elected to do. Why were you on softs? Why were you on softs? I'm not going to judge your driving in the silhouette, right? Hard car to drive. I can imagine it's torture around here. Why are you on the softs? Do not two-stop Watkins Glen. You're kidding me. If Tracy's on the soft, then H-Boss, get your teammate in gear. I'll just say this now. Just in case Watkins Glen, by some miracle, gets revoted onto a calendar for season 21. It is a one-stop. You cannot two-stop Watkins Glen well. Why would you attempt this? The pit lane is a fucking year and a half long. What are you doing? Jesus. All right, so we've got D-Dubs who's on the hard then. Chuck Norris on the hard to start as well, with Sapper and H-Boss in the top 4, all on the hard tyres. Same with Major, mediums for Gus back. I'm not entirely sure why. Oh, God, please tell me Gus back doesn't actually do a 2-stop. I'm in the Merc chat. Honestly, I am in the Merc chat. There is a 2-stop here for a Merc, then somebody should sue Captain Eli for false information at this point. Like, I don't trust him. Like, do not trust Eli's strategies. That's just rule number 1. And we got Rich in 7th on the hards. Hard for Danger Mouse and for everyone in 8th and 9th. And Bluebeard in 10th. And Turbo Driver, sorry, not Turbo Boy. Turbo Boy is in Tier 2. Turbo Driver in 11th on the hard. Robbo in 12th. Nath in 13th. Epsilon in 14th. All on the hard tire as well. So Tracy is in 15th on the softs, and I'm even more confused about why you'd be on the soft way back here. And then Yuri on the hards to start with. So difference in strategy for Gus back and for Sir Tracy here. Let's see how everything unfolds in the actual race itself then. Heading down towards the start-finish line is D-Dubs, who will get in the way as we start 23 laps of the feature. Who's going to get a good start? Who's going to have the opportunity down into turn 1? It looks like we might see H-Boss go for an early move. Sapper goes a little bit wide, trying to keep in line. He does so well, but H-Boss is going to have a run. He's going to have a very good run as we head through turn 2 and then up through turn 3 and 4. And H-Boss is up a position already. We got Major in 5th, Gus back in 6th. Trying to go after the Gen X, and it's not really working. Didn't look too confident there for Major, however. D-Dub still ahead of Chuck Norris in the lead. Still H-Boss in 3rd, with Sapper in 4th. The only position change in the top 6. Actually, you go even further back than that. Bluebeard, I think, may have just hit the inside of Obi-Wan. We'll get a second view of that, actually. Let's see if there's any sort of move. Bluebeard looking for a chance. Dives to the inside late. Does go right through the side of Obi-Wan all the way through. He does do that as he gets a position on the GTR. Oh, a little bit of a slide there from Danger Mouse will open up the door for Bluebeard to get alongside. He's going to do this on the outside, however. This is going to be fairly interesting to see if he can actually make it stick. Around the outside of Danger Mouse, that GTR done well so far today. And I think it may have done well and alter the position for now. To the inside, up the hill goes Bluebeard. Can he do anything? No, he cannot, and that is well defended from Danger Mouse. TU on the street now going to the inside on Danger Mouse. This will be a lot harder for Danger Mouse to try and stick in terms of defending. And this time, he hasn't even got a remote chance of sticking that one. Bluebeard up into 8th. We'll see it continue to go through the pack. Carving through the GTR like he's not even there. Yeah, as Robbo said, don't forget to like the stream. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Join us for future live streams as well. Bluebeard still ahead of the 2 GTRs he's overtaken so far. Rich hasn't been able to get past Gus back, who hasn't made any progress on his medium tyres. It just further points to the question marks over the strategy to begin with. Bluebeard again on the inside of Rich, and he made that one stick, however. Don't forget, Bluebeard won the sprint. He's marching his way through the group this time. Oh, again, a little bit of contact on the way through. Not entirely sure. The greatest overtakes in the world. Go further forward. Major trying to go after Sapper now. Oh, Sapper sliding the car twice. And that'll open up the door on the outside for Major to go through. And Gusback finally makes some progress. Or will he? Because Sapper's on the inside. Sapper doing enough to defend. For now. Because Gusback gets an electric exit. Electric exit and will just go straight on by. Up in the 5th goes the Merc. I wonder how everything's going to continue on here. Oh, it doesn't look like anyone's going for any moves apart from Gusback. So, Gusback to the inside toward turn 1. We'll have a run. Major's going to come over to defend it. He's going to come over and defend it almost well because Gusback gets a significantly better exit and absolutely launched it. Sapper will take advantage of the hole created as a result, and up goes Gusback and Sapper, and down goes Major. Sapper to the inside, looking to take back 4th place, and had done so with relative ease. Nothing happening for Gusback there. Sapper just excellently executing that in the first sector to get 2 places. The places he actually lost by half spinning the car the lap prior. He's definitely got the pace to try and figure it out as we continue on. H-Boss, Chuck Norris, D-Dubs all starting to get a little bit of an advantage. Chuck Norris with the inside line should be able to just draw that a little bit closer. We continue on. Gusback ahead of Major, ahead of Bluebeard, who's ahead of Rich. Bluebeard's just trying to get himself further up the field. He's charged through the first 4, but he hasn't really found a way past the next couple of drivers who have all been fighting each other up to this point. Looks like nothing happening up the hill. A little bit of a slide there. I think that's Danger Mouse that couldn't get the car fully under control on the traction. We are still going to continue. Well, we're going to continue to watch the fight for 4th. The whole train is predicated from Sapper backwards. We'll see how well Sapper can continue on here. Sapper's on the hard, just on the fastest lap of the race so far. We'll see if there's going to be a move for the Saudi Arabian. Let's go to the inside. Can he get it done? No, he cannot. It looked like a hole may have been opening up for a split second, but it's been slammed shut. Move happening at the back of the grid, however. Or trying to anyway, because Sir Tracy is trying to make his way past Obi-Wan as he's up in 11th. Gained a few positions early on. Now goes to the inside, almost hitting the back quarter of the car for Obi-Wan. It keeps everyone alive. Now it's Sir Tracy to the inside! Going for a move. I don't think he hit him on the way through as well. The soft tire's working beautifully there. He's up in the 10th. Problem he's got is trying to work his way through people on a strategy that is exactly the opposite of that. Gusback trying to look to the inside of Sapper. Really doesn't have anywhere to go. And Sapper will hold on to 4th for a little while longer. Here comes H-Boss to the inside of Chuck Norris further up the field, looking for 2nd. He's going to get 2nd. Neither driver got a good exit by any means. But H-Boss will take it because he just got a better one. And now he has to go after D-Dubs, who has had a fairly comfortable race at the front to start with as we go on to lap 5. Gusback trying to look to the inside of Sapper. Could have easily gone for a move there. Potentially needed to go for a move there, to be completely honest with you. On those medium tyres that are starting to fade away. Don't forget, everyone around him is on the hard tyre. They'll move on to the mediums later on, so he's going to be screwed the longer this goes. Major ahead of Rich, who's ahead of Bluebeard, who's actually under fire from Danger Mouse, and Danger Mouse backs out. Probably rather smartly there, actually, on the inside of the bus stop chicane. So Tracy in 10th, Obi-Wan in 11th. Obi-Wan hasn't really been dropped at the moment either. Turbo Driver, sorry, and Nate fighting it out for 12th with Robbo in 14th, Fury in 15th, and Epsilon has had a day. That's the best way of putting that, to be completely honest with you. He has had one hell of a day. I haven't said it was a good one. He has had one hell of a day. H-Boss still leading the pack. And we see Sapper's got onto the back of Chuck Norris now as well. So that 5 or 6 car trading down to P10 and now extended a couple of cars in the front direction. If you're D-Dubs, the more these guys fight behind, the better this gets. Chuck Norris just not being able to properly hang on the back of H-Boss right now. Should be good news for H-Boss later on into this race. Tyres play a part. I reckon fuel will play a relatively big part in this as well. Goes back again, going after Sapper, but not really finding a way through. Needs to get Sapper to Chuck Norris before he can get a move done now. Realistically, the only way through. Major after that. Rich is still ahead of Bluebeard for 7th. There's a little bit of a gap appearing between the two, between Major and the cars behind. Side by side, Bluebeard and Rich. And a little bit of contact to the way through again, but Bluebeard has a half-second penalty this time. Rich will have the position back later on if he can just stay close enough. Danger Mouse is really going for this now. Looked for the inside himself. Forced Rich to defend. I don't really think there's going to be a move up the hill. Up until Bluebeard serves his penalty here. It didn't look too great on the exit there from Bluebeard, that's a certain. That'll allow Rich to go through with the penalty. Will it allow Danger Mouse to go through with the penalty? I think it does. They're going to go side by side. And Bluebeard is going to stay ahead. So Tracy's going to try and follow through the hole around the outside. Move not able to be completed, however. So Tracy is just going to stick back for a little while longer. And his tyres are dead. And in comes Sir Tracy for the first time. Off of the soft tyres come the Aston Martin. Goes back now, tailed off the... Well, not tailed off, because he just launched himself in great turn 1. A great turn 1 exit was beautiful from the Merc, and he's launched himself ahead of Sapper. That didn't look like a likely move in the slightest. He's got it to work. Got Gus back on the inside of Chuck Norris now as well. He hasn't been able to make that move stick. Chuck Norris just sliding all over the place. Gus back got a half-second penalty. He's now under fire from Sapper. Sapper being the less of the McLaren so far in that team. Deserves a lot of love for the way he's been driving today, that's for certain. So does D-Dubs at the front, who's got a sizable gap still to H-Boss, who is going the long way around the corner. Chuck Norris could just get one good exit, and he'll be able to set himself up well. Gus back was alongside Chuck Norris there until a half-second penalty kicked in. Sapper's going to get 4 in front, but I don't think Major will. Major looking to the inside, doesn't go for it. Well, Rich, who's a sizable gap behind Major now as well, potentially actually out of slipstream range of Major in front. Gus back is starting to struggle just a little bit. We got Major, so we got Rich still ahead of Bluebeard, and then Danger Mouse, and then Obi-Wan in the top 10, Nathan 11th, Turbo Driver in 12th, Robbo in 13th. Then we've got Yuri in 14th. So Tracy at the, well, second to last in the field at the moment on the medium tyres now. And then Epsilon running at the rear of the field after his 2:05 earlier on. Still D-Dubs at the front from H-Boss in second and then Chuck Norris in third with Zappa in fourth. Gus back just slightly dropping off the back of that now. The Major still quite comfortably ahead in sixth from Rich in seventh. If I'm Major, I start potentially moving, trying to push forward because Gus Back's tires are starting to fall off a cliff now. He's under 50% on the mediums. Opportunities will arise now in the next couple of laps here for Major to try and make some sort of a move forward. It looks like everyone just staying as they were up the hill. Bluebeard got a little bit sideways there, so did Rich, and we'll see if there's going to be anything opening up for the GTRs behind. Looks like there's a penalty as well. I'm not sure who it's for. It's for Turbo, as he's just fighting with Robbo. No, and he won't be using it against Robbo because Turbo's the wrong way round. The Alfa Romeo round as Yuri goes by, almost hit his own teammate. On the rejoin the track, we got Sir Tracy and Epsilon. Epsilon is really not enjoying himself at the moment. Gonna serve the second penalty now. A little bit further forward, Nathan's got himself an opportunity to get onto the back of the group, which is now sizably behind Gus Back and Major in 6th and 5th. Sapper in this front pack as well. H-Boss still ahead of Chuck Norris, and D-Dubs relatively unchallenged up to this point. Quite frankly, we're almost halfway through, and I don't think D-Dubs has seen another driver. Never mind anyone else. Anyone actually challenging him to try and win this race. Smooth sailing for the Lamborghini up to this point. And he's not doing an outlandish strategy either, so everyone else has actually got to beat him for pace rather than beat him on the strategy. D-Dubs has got an opportunity, a glorious opportunity if he wants it here. Very interesting when it comes to the fuel loads later on, to see how that plays a factor. Let's see if there's going to be anything for the group behind. Still nothing here for Major on Gus Back. Gus Back still on the back of Sapper, like he never left. And those medium tyres are going to start to run sooner rather than later. I wonder if he's going to go 10 or 11 on those tyres. Doing significantly better on the medium tyres than he was on the softs, I'll tell you that much. In the sprint, here comes Gus Back to the inside! May have put something in. Nope, that second camera angle made sure that Sapper is quite significantly ahead. We'll see if there's anything in this for Gus Back as we head up the hill into the bus stop chicane. Is there an opportunity? There may be an opportunity in the back of the screen, as Bluebeard and Danger Mouse are fighting it out. And Bluebeard is still ahead. Also, Rich has dropped down into 10th. On that last lap, dropping 2 places rather. Actually, it might have been 3. I think he was ahead of Bluebeard as well. Dropped all the way into 10th with Nath right behind him. That's never a good sign. Also still got everyone, but, well, everyone's still got a pit again. After some, oh, we might have a change for the lead. What's happened here? D-Dub got a second penalty. D-Dubs have got a second penalty, as H-Boss is going to take advantage of that. And as I've been saying, the entire race has been relatively unchallenged. And that's forced D-Dubs into a mistake. The complacency just giving him that little bit of an edge, giving him a penalty now. As H-Boss takes the lead with Chuck Norris in second. And Sapper has got past into third. A complete shake-up of the podium. A massive error. Massive error for D-Dubs. Sapper right on the back of Chuck Norris now. H-Boss now is the guy out in front with a little bit of an advantage. But if you're Chuck Norris, you see that penalty, your eyes are going to light up. You've got an opportunity to tie the knot a lot worse. The fuel pretty much identical. There's not a lot in this at all as Gus back on the end of lap 10 pits off the medium tyre. This is going to be fairly interesting now to see how the guys at the front react to the penalty for the Lamborghini. It'll look like he's going to react too quickly at the moment. H-Boss still the advantage out front. Sapper also looking to take advantage of the situation with D-Dub now about a second and a half behind, I reckon. Off the back of just Sapper, never mind the lead. Major in 5th, Bluebeard in 6th, Danger Mouse in 7th, then you got Obi-Wan in 8th, Rich in 9th, Dave in 10th, Robbo in 11th, Fury in 12th, Turbo in 13th, who's really not enjoying his time at the moment either. And so Tracy in 14th, Gus back onto the hard tyre, doing a flip of the one stop. Not entirely sure that was a wise choice either, that low into the pecking order. Probably would have been wise had he started on the front row. He's just gone for a gamble, it has not paid off. We'll see if there's anything in this Epsilon still at the back, and he's got a second penalty to go with it. I don't think he's picked yet either. Rich and Obi-Wan fighting it out for 8th at the moment. Everyone else just starting to get their own little gap of about 9/10 of a second. I think someone just pit D-Dubs is off of his hard tyre now then. I can only assume that's a medium tyre going on the car. On the end of lap 11, so you're going to try and do 12 on the mediums potentially. I would assume this is mediums. Let's see what he's going on to. Yuri and Turbo Driver into the pits as well. And it is in fact a medium tyre. Gus back trying to go through turn 1. On the flip side against D-Dubs, and D-Dubs is out comfortably ahead. No changes in the position out front at the moment. Major right behind Sapper, who's tried his best against Chuck Norris for the last 2 laps, but no real gain from it. The good news, however, for Sapper is that the opportunity might arrive now. Oh, that looked like a half slide from Chuck Norris, and Sapper has got to make a move, got to go for that, doesn't go for that. And H-Boss is going to just extend his gap out front now. And this is a sizable advantage. An advantage you can realistically take the entire way home if you get it right. Chuck Norris's tyres are just falling off the edge of the cliff again. H-Boss has stayed out once more, so does Chuck Norris. In comes Sapper. Bluebeard's overtaking Major. Both of these guys staying on the track. There's damage for Major, so let's see how Major got a hold of that damage. Oh, he's going to be forced a little bit deep because Sapper on the inside was in the pit lane. And Major's going to be a little bit screwing at that, but there's nothing that can be done as Major will be overtaken with the damage. That is just rather unfortunate. And now Danger Mouse and Obi-Wan will be able to charge him down. Rich just a little bit off the back of the two GTRs. Let's see what tyres Sapper is going to come out on, and in turn, how close to D-Dubs is he going to be? Or is he ahead of D-Dubs, out of curiosity? Heading out the pit lane now, you can see it just picking up the speed. He's just been given control of it back with D-Dubs charging him down, but not ahead. Sapper is ahead of D-Dubs. Okay, so now Sapper can focus on putting down the rubber, trying to go forward rather than backwards. D-Dubs is trying to force a move before before those tires warm up. If it isn't going to happen into the bus stop chicane, Sapper will hold on. Going forward, Rich still ahead of Nath. Major is still fighting with Chuck Norris as Bluebeard has actually got ahead of Chuck Norris now, and I think there may have been a penalty. No, there wasn't a penalty. Oh, Chuck Norris half-slid the car twice. It's just about keep the car going as Bluebeard will storm on through, and Major should also get on by against Chuck Norris. Teammates in the same car, and they're gonna go fighting for some reason. This should not be the case. You should be just running this one between you. Get someone out in front and use each other as a bit of leverage to get back to Bluebeard. And in comes Chuck Norris. In comes Major. And Danger Mouse as well. H-Boss came in earlier. Bluebeard followed him in. All of the top 5, top 6 are all pitting. Everyone not named Robbo. You stayed out one more in the M6. Who will assume the lead of the race now then. Nathan in the pit, Sapper coming on round. Let's see how close he's going to get now then. So Tracy's still out as well. That's the Tracy coming around the first corner. H-Boss's car has just started to pick up the speed. So is Bluebeard. Sapper is around turn 1, but is he going to be able to beat anybody out? He is going to beat Danger Mouse out, but he isn't going to be able to beat Bluebeard out. And there's Sapper with Bluebeard and H-Boss, all of them right beside each other. Sapper has a run, has one hell of a run. Uses H-Boss as slipstream now, trying to get second place. Will get second place, and Bluebeard will get cut off. That's much needed for Sapper there. First big race of the season on the cards for Sapper. Just a case of how well he can do against H-Boss now. Gonna have worse tyres the rest of the way. It's gonna be very interesting to see how that is affected. Bluebeard to the inside, locking all the way around. Doesn't get anything against Sapper, as Sapper gets a good exit now as well. H-Boss gets an excellent exit, however, and that gap is just gonna open up just a little bit. Is there gonna be any move for Bluebeard? Picking his spot? Not really. D-Dub's right behind them, so D-Dubs has got himself into 4th with an opportunity to fight a little bit further forward. Robbo is now into the pits. With Danger Mouse in 7th, Major in 8th. Then it's Obi-Wan and Gus back in 10th. Gus back is really not enjoying this. Chuck Norris in 11th. I'm not entirely sure how the hell Chuck Norris ended up way over here. Robbo into the pit, 218. Chuck Norris must have had an absolute mad 222. Yeah, he had a mare of a quarter of an outlap there, and any chance he just had of doing something well in this race had just fallen by the wayside, I think. That is not good news for Chuck Norris. Great news for everyone else who was fighting it. Bluebeard's just piling onto the outside for no apparent reason. Or inside, rather. Not entirely sure what he gained from that, apart from losing time on the car in front. To be completely honest with you. Like Zappa on H-Boss trying to go forward as well. Zappa just getting close enough to H-Boss to really try something, but not really try something in terms of an overtake, but try something in fashioning an opening some point in this race. You know, Sir Tracy has absolutely botched it. Bluebeard currently in third, D-Dubs in fourth, Danger Mouse in fifth, Major in sixth, Obi-Wan not that far off the back of him in seventh. Chuck Norris is ahead of Gus back at this point in time. Rich is also going to try and get his way past the Merc. So Tracy into the pits with 8 laps to go. And now I'm really confused of what tyre he's going to go on to. I can only assume it's soft, but 8 laps on the soft seems rather a long time. Chuck Norris is just driving away from Gus back and company now as Rich has just been held up. Bluebeard overtaken now by D-Dubs. D-Dubs will have a run after Sapper and H-Boss as he's trying to recover what was his for the first 10 laps of this race. It'll be about the amount of speed you're taking into the corners, Blade Runner. That's all it'll be. Cornering at Watkins Glen is all the... Like, if you don't corner well at Watkins Glen, your time is going to be poor. D-Dub still ahead of Bluebeard for now. How much longer is it going to last driving like that? That is extremely wide from D-Dubs. He's going to get away with the inside line in the next corner, but the exit might screw him here. Who's going to get the better run? Bluebeard is an excellent corner and has got the run. He'll be in front by the time we hit the next turn. D-Dubs has got to hang it on the inside here. Try and keep that move to go, but he doesn't. And that is well driven by Bluebeard on the outside, up the hill, to get a strong exit and a position out of it. Major is really trying after Danger Mouse now as well. The front two have now got separation. Little bit of separation now for Zapper and for H-Boss. 47.5 on the last lap, 47.6 for H-Boss, so Zapper has slight advantage. I don't think he wins if he keeps up that 10th every lap, however, so he's got to find something a little bit more to try and overtake the leader of this race. It'll be the McLaren team's third win of the season after the double in the first race for Rich. D-Dubs now being under fire from Danger Mouse, who's trying to fight him for fourth. D-Dubs on the inside, doesn't stick it. And Danger Mouse is up ahead of him. Yeah, Danger Mouse up in the fourth now. Continue on. There's a penalty. There's a penalty for Bluebeard, who had got close to Sapper, had got close to H-Boss. He's going to have to find a way back all over again. That the half second is going to kick in. Roughly about an 8 or 9 tenths of a second time loss at Watkins Glen. 4.5 second penalty, so Bluebeard now has to find his way back toward the front. Sapper and H-Boss had that breathing room all over again. Currently on lap 17 of 23. I don't really know if there's going to be any moves in the midfield either. D-Dubs is falling like a stone right now. Now defending from Major, looking for a move into turn one. Now out of turn one Major has a run. D-Dubs is under fire again. For the third lap running into the bus stop chicane. He is in trouble. Is there going to be anything for Major here? D-Dubs having to defend. Major going to the inside. Almost left something in on D-Dubs there. But they both make it through safely. Major to the outside. Trying to keep it going, but Obi-Wan's going to pick him off. Obi-Wan's going to run through the hole that was majorly created by Major, and it's beautifully done from the GDR. Major now in front of his teammate, but he's going to fight Obi-Wan straight back. Obi-Wan might not have left enough room there on the inside for the overtake for Major, but Major's going to fight him anyway. They head down towards the beginning of the final sector. Chuck Norris is trying to find a way through the hole, but Major will get the place back on Obi-Wan. Chuck Norris now to the inside. Not actually happening, however, for Chuck Norris, the Portuguese driver, stuck in 8th at the moment. Going forward, Bluebeard has started to find a way back again into the fight for the front three. I wonder if anything is going to happen in turn to change for the lead with about 5 laps to go. We've done 18. This is lap 19 of 23. Is there going to be anything on the table for Bluebeard or anything on the table for Sapper? Or is H-Boss going to drive this one to the end? We're going to have a three-way battle the entire way. The medium tyres going to look better on Bluebeard's car at the moment. Got the best tyre wear of the three. Sapper obviously pitted the lap earlier than the two. So Sapper's going to be a little bit worse for wear right now. And you can see it, he's just starting to falter just a little bit. Bluebeard is about to place himself in a place to pick him off. I don't really know if H-Boss has got enough to hold on to the lead as well. The longer it's Sapper in second, the better chance it is for H-Boss. As soon as Bluebeard makes this move for second, H-Boss's win is going to be under fire. Personally, don't think Sapper's got enough to win it without a mistake. Danger Mouse still ahead of D-Dubs, is still ahead of Major with Obi-Wan in 7th. Nothing changing there. Chuck in 8th, Rich in 9th. But Rich is a lot closer now. You got Nathan 10th, Robbo in 11th, Gus back in 12th, Turbo in 13th, Sir Tracy in 14th. After doing a soft medium, which, is a choice. It's one of the choices of all time, to be honest with you. Looks like Bluebeard still going after Sapper. H-Boss has a sizable advantage now. Just the longer it goes, the better it goes for the Aston Martin. Bluebeard can see this. Surely Bluebeard can see this by now. You'd think he'd be getting a little bit antsy for a move. He might be getting a little bit antsy for a move. Oh, straight to the back of the McLaren, but the McLaren will hold on. And then the flash to let him go. That might seal it. That might seal it. H-Boss, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes now, should be able to drive this one home relatively unchallenged. No one's tired of going off. To be honest with you, they could have all done one lap more than what they did. Potentially, anyway. We'll see how it goes at the end of this race. wonder if H-Boss is going to be able to get out of this unscathed. Looks like Danger Mouse has got himself a sizable advantage to the D-Dubs as well. I think we got Major just trying to make a move now, down to the inside of D-Dubs. Is there anything in there for him? There is. But now, who's got a better exit? It might have been Obi-Wan that got a better exit, to be completely honest with you. There's a hole for him to fall through. Major's got past D-Dubs now. There's about 2 or 3 cars asking for a position behind D-Dubs as well. D-Dubs has done just about enough to avoid losing a position in the hole. Chuck Norris has got... Oh, there's someone round. There's someone round, and it's Sapper. After all of that, all of the hard work on the McLaren, just to tag the wall and get reset, and that is going to be a painful way to end off the podium. Sapper just dives onto the grass to avoid hitting anybody. His teammate going past now as well. That'll be a incredibly disheartening mistake for Sapper. And there goes Nath round the outside. Who overtook under a yellow? Debatable. I don't think he did. I think he overtook the yellow car, but I don't think anyone's getting a penalty for that. Yeah, the game hasn't given out 3 seconds worth of penalties, so everyone got away with it. That is just incredibly unfortunate for Sapper. That is going to be incredibly disheartening for his season as well. Obi-Wan's got a half-second penalty, so Rich might be about to inherit another position. And they look to fight for 6th place here. Oh no! And then another McLaren in the wall! Oh my god, it's happened again! Sapper on the same lap just tagged the inside. And there's just no controlling of the traction on the McLaren, and he slides to the inside for Rich. And both the McLarens have gone from extremely promising positions to absolutely nothing. Obi-Wan's half a second will be a moot point now. We're on lap 22. Chuck Norris and Major doing extremely well for the Gen X team. 2 in the top 5. Same can be said for Danger Mouse and Obi-Wan in the GTR. The constructors will look interesting after this. Bluebeard is going right after H-Boss, but I don't think he's going to have enough time. It's going to be really close. Like I said before, it was all about how long Sapper would stay in second as to whether or not there'd be an actual chance for Bluebeard to win this race. He will get the opportunity, won't be there though, because he just strolled a bit too far to the outside. He's going to go to the outside again here. We saw him earlier on, hang one beautifully on the outside with the exit. But H-Boss is aware of this, and again, just blocks him off. And H-Boss is doing enough to try and desperately defend the win. H-Boss just doing enough, and Bluebeard is running out of time. There's not really a large straight or two for him to attack the Aston Martin either. So he's going to have to fashion his own opening here. Obi-Wan penalty just been served with Nath and Sapper fighting it out for 7th. And Sapper almost lost it again for the McLaren team. Nothing really happening out in the middle of the pack, so we'll go back to the front. On to the final lap we go. Will Bluebeard be able to fashion his open opportunity here? It's a better exit, that's for certain. It's a far better exit for the M6. He's going to have that opportunity. The problem is the bus stop chicane is not an opportunity to actually overtake safely. So he's going to have to hang it in the middle sector. He's going to approach. He's going to go to the outside. Elects not to go for it now. In these next 3 or 4 corners, they're going to be his last opportunity. There might be a lunge here. Quite frankly, if I was Bluebeard, I'd be trying. With a race win on the line, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then so be it. You have to try and win the race here. H-Boss on the inside now. Bluebeard on the outside. We saw this before. H-Boss won it last time. Bluebeard had a lot more alongside this time. And a potentially better exit. With H-Boss just in front now. Barely a card length. With the two cars side by side, this is it. He doesn't go for a move. I don't know why he's not going for it here. That was prime opportunity. He just had back-to-back corners where he got enough alongside to constitute a dive. He just didn't go for it. And H-Boss is going to be enjoying the fact that he didn't go for it. Because H-Boss has now got 2 corners to the end of the race. And he's run out of time as Bluebeard. H-Boss, 1 more to the end. No mistake, or is there? Nope, he just clawed the wall, but it's not going to be enough. As H-Boss goes to the line to win the race. Win the feature at Watkins Glen with Bluebeard on the back of him. Danger Mouse in 3rd on the bottom step of the podium. Chuck Norris beats out Major for 4th. Obi-Wan gets 6th. Nathan 7th. Sapper is going to feel incredibly hard done by in this one, and 8th. Gusback is in 9th. Robbo in 10th. Turbo Driver in 11th with Rich in 12th. D-Dubs may or may not have well, just driven to the end barely with that right rear. Epsilon finishing a lap back. So Tracy in 14th. We'll see. Richard, Robbo is telling me to go back about 4 corners. Oh, that'll do it. What has happened here between Robbo and Rich? Oh, it's another tag. Another tag, and that's why... Oh, it's Sapper, sorry. We're on McLaren, and yeah, it just got from bad to worse for Sapper, really. And Robbo's going to have to settle for 10th, realistically, here. I've almost sent it to his inside. That being said... Oh, someone else died. Well, I'm not entirely sure. We're apparently not done. D-Dubs on the inside with a 2nd penalty. The head of Rich right now. Oh, the rears have gone off, and he's just spun the car around Rich. And that's how Turbo got the position, because Rich had hit the wall on the back who avoided D-Dubs, and this was just a mess at the end. D-Dub's tyre just gave up on him 1 corner too soon. So Tracy will get 14th. Yuri will finish off the back of the grid here with a half-second penalty, and 15th of the last of the people finishing on the first lap. Absolute mare at the end for some drivers. But it is H-Boss's day. With Bluebeard also having a fantastic drive. 1st and 2nd in the 2 races will help his championship out. And the Gen X's and the GTRs will also have had a good day in the Constructors. But with that being said, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys Sunday. Sunday for some eSports action. If I don't see you guys before. But until then, peace.